Что ж, здорово, с вами снова Кварта Бир, и возвращается мое бельгийское путешествие. Наконец-то мне удалось таки прорваться всеми правдами и неправдами на одну пивоварню, на которую мне был путь заказан до этого, потому что их тапрум при пивоварне не работает постоянно, и у них слишком мало людей и слишком мало времени на то, чтобы обслужить всех, кто желает у них потусоваться. Что это за пивоварня, вы уже понимаете из названия. Но поскольку с европейскими пивоварнями все время есть такой вопрос, что не всегда понятно, как это произносится, сейчас мы у главного пивовара, основателя, идеолога и прочее, просто там дона этой пивоварни узнаем наконец-то произношение, как эта уксусоварня называется по-европейски, и проведем небольшой турчик, а также продегустируем эксклюзивчики. Начинаем. So, the main question that people might have, and we already kind of discussed it, but it was not on the camera. So this place, like both brewery and tap room, and currently it's not open.
Nah, unfortunately
widely.
not. We used to be open more, sometimes on Wednesday, then on Friday, but basically the big problem is time.
Yeah, time and people.
People a little bit, yeah, because we're in the middle of nowhere, so it's not that, well, as you've noticed, it's not that easy to get here. Unless you drive it, you have to be a little bit careful if you have some beers. So, yeah, it's choices. I mean, if we do festivals and like go to Russia, I can't be here, of course.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, we can only be in one place at a time. So I made the choice only to open for, events from time to time, and then, if people are in the neighborhood and they contact me and I have time, then it's possible, like with you guys. If I don't have time, I will honestly say I'm really sorry, but it doesn't work out today for me. But I try to make some time, especially if people come from far away.
So mostly it's some releases, or
yeah, it depends. Now the next time we're open is when we release the fellowship, which is sort of a bottle membership. But it can also be because you might have seen in the back that we've got like an oven over there, so it could be because we give a demonstration on how to make sourdough bread, because we make our own bread, and from time to time we make some pizza here just for fun, or we do a tasting with some vintage beers, but it's maybe 4 or 5 times a year max. When we have time and when we feel like it, we do something, and if I'm like, oh, I'm too busy or I need some rest, then we just take some rest.
And how often is the fellowship gathers?
Well, actually only when we do the lounge. So we also brew them together. We always make like a crazy brew. More like a sort of a home brew, because we brew in oak barrels, which is always fun. And then we heat up, or we bring the beer to boil with heating stones and a bonfire. This year I think we'll just do some spontaneous fermentation. So during the night we just let it cool down and then transfer to a barrel and see what happens. It might go the wrong way, we'll see, but at least once we come together. And then, yeah, of course, I know a lot of people that joined the fellowship, because many of them are friends now, or fans of Alvinne. So that's the good thing about it. it makes it possible for me to be very close to the customer.
Yeah.
And it's an easy way for me to sell my special barrels or special projects, like really, I'm talking about 400, 500 liter releases, not more than that. Because if I want to sell it to my customers, everyone wants it.
Yeah.
So those who get some are not happy because they wanted more, and those who doesn't get anything for sure are not happy because they're like, if I can't get anything special from you, I don't want anything else. So it was becoming a problem, and that's why we decided, okay, instead of selling it to an importer or a distributor, I'm just gonna sell it directly to the customer, but make it something special. Yeah. Instead of one beer at a time, let's make a collection. Last year it was with 9 beers, but then small bottles. That was a lot of work. So this year I decided to go for 75 centiliters, which means 5 experiments and an ice block, and that's easier to handle for sure.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you. Brouwerij.
Cheers.
We have a barley wine that is a bit vinous, a bit slight sourness, but not extreme. And I was like, okay, let's put it on fooder, let it age a little bit to get some more depth, basically. Yeah. It's gonna be a nice one. We have a brilliant airlock system. See, billiard ball.
Yeah.
It's,
Trust me, I'm an engineer.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sometimes little uneasy things are.
Yeah, if it works, it's not stupid.
No. And then, of course, yeah. So, key cakes is pre-saturated, so we don't do re-fermentation on cake, just for saturation. And with the bottles.
There's a problem with all European breweries. We sometimes do not know how it's pronounced correctly. So once and for all, is it Alvinne?
Actually, it's Alvinne.
Alvinne. So it would be appropriate, I guess, if you introduce yourself, so everyone will understand that you're taking your family name, like name of the brewery. So.
No. The name of the brewery is actually Alvinne.
Alvinne
is derived from water elf.
Oh.
So in our dialect, the water elf is called an Alvinne.
Oh.
So it has nothing to do with my last name. My last name is actually Kastelein, which, if you would translate that in English, would be like bar owner.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this time that gossip that last names are the jobs of your ancestors. This time,
not anymore. Not anymore. And in the beginning, we used to, we used to put the water elves on our label and things like that. But we stopped doing that a long time ago because we didn't want to be one of those fairy tale breweries like Lashu or others. But we kept the name. So yeah, here's this the nicest place because it's the warmest place. So here's the finished beer for re-fermentation and bottle. Because television beers they don't make pictures
Okay.
of this. So it's a very classic RUS. Mash that we always do one-step infusion. This is the propagator for Morpheus yeast, but now it's empty. So it's filled with water, but not with yeast.
Well, and by the way, you're using mostly, or you only use your own yeast?
No, mostly. For all the sours, we use our own yeast culture, which is called Morpheus yeast, which is basically mixed fermentation, so it has lactobacillus and two Saccharomyces yeast strains. And for other beers like the triple or a saison or a quadruple, we use dry yeast. Could be an abbey yeast, could be a saison yeast, depending on the style of beer.
And how do you produce your own yeast? Do you have to be a biologist for it, or?
Actually, yes. Yeah. So it's quite complicated, and it's quite meticulous. So you need to do every step always at the same way, same temperature, same. So it's extremely important to control this. Because if you don't, there's going to be an imbalance. So you might have too many lactic acid, but not enough yeast, so your beer will not ferment, or the other way around. You have more than enough yeast, but not enough lactobacillus, so your beer will only be very, very, very slightly sour. So to get that balance, that's basically the most difficult thing about our yeast. So the whole propagation is really, it's really something. It's our knowledge, it's our expertise. It's why we do sours the way we do sours, and many others do it this way, I think.
Yeah. And how did you make the first?
Well, Mark is one of the partners in the brewery, and he's a biologist. Well, actually a dairy engineer, so milk and other things. And he basically collected wild yeast when he was on holiday. Mm-hmm. And then he started from a collection of different yeast, different bacteria, and then isolated until he had a culture which we are still using today. So the mother culture is still at his own house. So he starts propagation at his house, and then he brings it to the brewery when he has 5 liters, and then we bring it up from 5 liters to 200 liters, whatever.
Great job.
And then the rest of the barrels are, so we have one big fooder here. We had a second one. We sold the second one to Jaws. So I think it arrived by now. It should arrive by now, otherwise.
Do you know what they're going to do with it? Some Flemish.
Well, I suppose they're going to make some sours out of it. It's the whole fooder is imprinted with wild bacteria and yeast. We'll see what they do with it. Excited. It was sad for us to let it go, but it was just too big. It was 7,500 liters. We needed 3 batches to fill it up, and the more beer we were producing, the harder it was to fill up the fooders. And it's never a good thing if the fooder has to be empty, so it's always better if we can fill it up, and then, you know, when you empty it, you should be able to fill it up immediately. The rest of the barrels.
This one is filled right now.
This one is good. It will become beer eventually. So this is the fee.
Yeah.
And what do we have here? Wild-West Kriek framboos. Indeed. Okay. Cuvée Sophie rhubarb. Just gonna try to be sure that it is. Don't even need to.
что, по традиции Кварта Бир не могла не обосраться. У меня в середине записи сдохла SD-карта, на которой как бы оперирует моя говнокамера. Поэтому я не уверен, что там в итоге записалось, что из этого получится или не получится. Поэтому основные тезисы мы еще раз повторим. У меня за спиной танки для вторичной мацерации на фруктах после того, как кислячки Alvinne уже потусили в бочечках винных, портвейновых и так далее. Мы находимся в тапруме. По правую руку от нас то, что сейчас можно купить, попить, так сказать. По левую руку от нас столик со стульчиком из бочки. Здесь стоит наше пивко, 4 пивовара, челада, валяются наши шмотки. Там вот вдалеке видны основные танки для первичного брожения в том числе. Мы видим также бочки, уборочный цех, всего понемножку. Мы имеем дело с серьезной пивоварней, которые вывели свой штамм дрожжей при помощи биолога, который у них в команде присутствует. У них есть также клуб для своих, который релизит пивко очень ограниченными партиями, там всего 300-400 бутылок. В этот клуб до сих пор можно вступить. Ты платишь там какое-то количество денег и получаешь за год определенное количество пивка. Ну, добраться, как обычно, непросто. Город Моен, middle of nowhere. Ближайший большой населенный пункт — это Кортрейк. Оттуда надо 30-40 минут ехать еще на автобусе со школьниками. Но это того стоит, но при этом не всегда можно сюда, в принципе, попасть. Потому что надо напрямую писать Гленну, владельцу, или там кому-то по почте, там, Alvinne, .собака.info, что-то там. Если у тебя получится, если у них будет время, то вас могут пустить. Иначе, увы, пивоварня закрыта для общего такого посещения, помимо там, раз в месяц на какой-то ивент или на вот релиз клубных пивасов. Тут, в принципе, закрыто. Нам сегодня удалось попробовать несколько эксклюзивчиков, несколько стандартных базовых сортов скранов. Я считаю, что была достаточно успешная такая поездочка. И это одна из интереснейших, на мой взгляд, таких неортодоксальных пивоварен в Бельгии, потому что куча кислых, очень кислых, прям супер кислых сортов. Глен рассказал, что они сейчас доработали свои там процессы брожения, чтобы, ну и, наверное, штамм дрожжей, может, немножко доработали, чтобы не было настолько это уксусно, немножко смягчили кислоту в сторону такого уже более потребителя расширенного, так скажем. Вот, но нам предстоит еще отсюда выбраться, ну а сперва неплохо было бы продегустировать еще каких-то эксклюзивчиков. Оставайтесь с нами, мы едем во Францию, возможно, там удастся записать что-то еще интересное. Так что помните, пинта хорошо, а кварта лучше, и до новых встреч!